Welcome back, guys. Alfred again, your learning coach. You see, I love sharing testimonies with you of how these study skills have really helped me because I want you to believe in what I'm saying. Listen to me. When I was in 100 level, 200 level, 300 level, I did not know all these terminologies I'm using now. But I'm telling you, I was doing it without knowing the terminologies. Let me share with you one story that happened when I was in 100 level. I read for chemistry, Chem 101. It was, those down the table, down the period, across the period, those group and period thing, periodic table, basically. So I read that particular handout and it was time for the test and exam. We wrote the test and then they taught us that particular handout after the test. When we went for the exams, almost all the questions came from that handout. And the funny thing was that when I was answering those questions, I could tell that those answers were not coming from something I read just the night before. Yeah, I could literally tell that these answers I didn't read it yesterday. So when I was in the hall when I was thinking all these things, so I thought I was like, when did I read this thing? I now remember it was a month ago. I was like, you mean I can still remember something I read a month ago, and it was still fresh in my head. I read it the night before, but I was not remembering that one, and I could tell. So guess what? After the exams, I came out, and then I was going back to my apartment, and then I began to think, what made me remember? This was how I got my perfect study skills, that I used when I was an undergraduate in the School of Pharmacy. I told you how to use it, but I think I did a video now on my own reading technique that I used personally. It was during all these experiences that I created one that suits my personality, and it did. I want you to do the same thing too. So when I went back, I started reflecting on how all those things happened. And then guess what? I now remember when I was reading it, I was hearing music, one classical music as at that time. And then it was Mozart. And then the thing it's like it was a flow. It's like a wave. It was not like this. There was distraction all over me. I mean in the class because it was a hall I was reading as at that time. But it was so calm. It was so calm. That was the first time it was happening to me. I read it so well. I understood everything. That was the first time I really understood what I was reading in my entire life, because we know they read for secondary school. I remember maybe you used to, me I don't used to read because I didn't take first in secondary school. I didn't. The first time I did that was in university. So it was just recently that I was trying to start this channel, and then I now knew that they called it flow state. Yeah, it's called flow state. It is the perfect state you should be if you want to learn anything in this life. And I will show you how to tap into flow state. For me, I did it using music. You see, because I connected with classical music a lot. Yeah, of course, there's a lot of theories that music doesn't help study. And I did it for me and it worked for me. Do you understand? And I know how to work. Don't worry, science will still discover what we did in school. Yeah, they will still find out. They are still trying to. What we did, science supports also, but the scientists, they still don't know how to do it. That's why they still debunk all these principles I'm teaching you. So you see, the flow state is a state of mind that you must be in order to learn anything perfectly. It is when you are actually the best version of yourself. So I want to tell you how you get into that flow state, and then from that state, if you read anything, if you study anything, even without using all those memorization technique, the thing will stay in your head. Do you want to know that? Let me just tell you. So when I was doing research, I didn't even do research a lot about this thing, because you can just enter YouTube and type flow state. You see a lot of people have spoken about it. I'll just tell you from my own experience and what I've done. So this is it. I noticed that if you want to get into flow state, stop trying. Because the number one thing that will impede you from getting into that flow state is when you are trying to, your intellectuals. When you are distracted, when you are making effort to get into it, it will not work. So there are maybe four. Let me give you 4 ways you can get into flow state. Number one, if the current task you're trying to do is challenging to you, just a little bit, like 10% challenging to you, and it's also rewarding, you will get into flow state easily. The next one is, I use music a lot because music calms me down. So I don't hear all those rock music that is so loud because I will not be able to concentrate. because I know there are studies that have shown that there are some particular kinds of music, especially classical music, calm music, R&B and stuff like that, that will really calm your brain waves. And if your brain waves are calm, you get into flow state. The way you know you're in flow state is that you don't mind what is happening around you, one, and um you lose time, you lose the grip of time. You will not be able to tell what the time is. You just like, you mean I've been reading for 4 hours and I don't know? Yes, you are in flow state. Do you understand? That's how you know you have gotten into. You don't mind what is happening around. You are connecting with the book, and you are not aware of time. So time passes as if you don't even know that time is passing. So one of another great way I know is gaming. I've noticed if I'm playing game, especially PS. Those days I used to play PS2 very well. PS, Pro Evolution Soccer. When you play Pro Evolution Soccer, especially games, it gets you into flow state easily. Do you understand? Because you are seeing the reward. If you score, the thing will sweet you. If you score, you'll be so happy. That dopamine will be released. You're like, so you pay more attention. Do you understand? It's called selective attention. It's called focus. Another one that really helps is exercise. For some reason, exercise will increase your focus and will take you to flow states easily. In fact, you focus more when you exercise before reading. Yeah, it does. Maybe go for a jog, try playing football, just try doing some exercise. Puzzling games also help a lot. Sleep. If you're just waking up from sleep, you are in flow state already. You understand? You are in flow state because the moment you wake up from sleep, your subconscious mind is still in charge, and they call it alpha waves in science stuff. You understand? So you are actually in your creative state. So any activity you plan to do that time, you'll be so efficient. Do you understand? Now, if you there's another one that I usually do. If you apply just little pressure, so sometimes we'll have an exams to read tomorrow. This was the one I used in 500 level that I read it during tests and exams, and of course it worked. If you have an exams maybe tomorrow, this is what you do. I know a lot of people start reading now to cover, but what I do is I wait till evening. I have a lot of things to read though, but I wait till evening because the moment that pressure comes on me to read, I know I only have one night to finish everything. I'll be so focused, so I enter into flow state easily. Do you understand? But as at that time, I didn't know the name was flow state. So I just told you how to enter flow state. So please do more research. Check how to enter the one that suits you. I know gaming works for me. Yeah. Sometimes I used to play game. Even eating too. When I eat my favorite food, my God, it works a lot. Exercise really works, and music also works for me. And then number, okay, there's one I didn't tell you. There's a sense of purpose, a sense of why are you reading now? Do you understand? Why are you reading now? Why do you think you should pass these exams? Do you have a strong why? That thing will take you into flow state easily. Do you understand? But your intellect trying to get into it is an impedance. Do you understand? So please, if you like this video, if this video really helped you, subscribe and like. Don't forget though, I am Alfred and I'm a learning coach. What I do is that I make learning easy. Thank you for watching.